Hey guys, it's that dude Derek, and I'm getting my motorcycle out today. So I thought I would share with you guys on exactly what that means, get her fired up for you guys, and I'll get you a shot of my first ride of the year, which probably isn't going to be that long just because the sky is getting gray. I'm hoping I can get it out for just maybe a 30-minute ride, but not too sure with this weather, but can't wait around. So let's just get going on this. You can see I would have got it out earlier, but I happened to get like a haircut and got a workout in earlier, did a little bit of meal prepping. So this is the motorcycle that was previously covered in the previous video. See, I got all these leaves here I still need to clean out, but it's going to be a lot easier after I get this bike out. A couple things that I like to do before I put it away, as you'll see here, I'll cover this exhaust with something here so that like a mouse can't crawl in there. What could happen is a mouse could crawl up in there, die, and then when you fire this thing up, there's going to be a mouse in it, and you know, don't know what that could cause, but don't want to find out. So I always think that's a good idea, but make sure it is dry when you put that on there. If there's moisture in there, what can happen is it'll start rusting on the inside because it won't be able to evaporate with the covering on that. You can buy like plugs that just fit right in there like a cork, but you don't really need to. That works just fine. So another thing I'm going to be doing is lubing the chain, and I wanted to show you guys one of these. This is a battery tender. It's a great investment. I think they're like 50, 60 bucks, but it keeps your battery charged. I've never had an issue if this thing's plugged in, firing it up from a dead battery. So I'm not expecting to have that issue, but you never know. Really easy on how it works. I got this little terminal connected to the battery, which has this cord coming off of it, and you can just connect it and disconnect it right there. So super easy. Jack stands, put it on those just to prevent getting flat spots from keeping it in one spot in the garage. That's going to help have a smoother ride. You'll get better performance, easier turning, that kind of thing. But that's it. I don't really want to talk too much. I'll show you guys how I take this down by myself. It is kind of a very scary process if you've never done it before and you feel like you're going to drop the bike. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but let me show you guys. Alright guys, got the bike out. As you can see, took off the thing I had on the exhaust here. Lubed the chain up with some spray-on lube. Unfortunately, I forgot to do it while I was on the jack stand, so kind of got like a half-ass lube job on it, but we'll get a better one. So this is the chain lube I do use. It is good. It goes on kind of waxy so it doesn't fling off. When you do get a chain lube, the one thing you do want to look for is to see if it's like O-ring safe or not. You can like mess your chain up if you're not using the right kind of chain lube on it. So all right, so for the moment of truth, the fire up here. Let's get the key out of the back here. All right, so this is going to be the first fire up of the year. It's always exciting. So I don't know how. Let's get the kickstand up there. Make sure it's in neutral. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. That made a weird sound. Got the blinker on. The high beams are on. Oh yeah. So that's music to your ears when it starts up like that. And don't be stupid and start revving it really hard. This thing's sat all year, so give it time to warm up. It's always nice when it starts up that smooth, so can't ask for anything better. Hey guys, getting ready to go on a ride, all geared up. Just got to throw the gloves on. Got my Alpine Star boots on, my AGV helmet with my custom decal that I made. Yes, I did make this. I didn't buy it. I mean, I kind of bought it, but then I had to cut it out. So one thing that we are running a little bit differently this time compared to my first video is I do have this mic that is right here, and it's going down into the GoPro right here. So before the GoPro, all it had was onboard mic, and since the case is on, you can't actually really get any audio. Whatever you get is kind of muffled, and you might just pick up some wind, so it doesn't really do you any good. Definitely not on the motorcycle. So we're gonna see. This microphone might pick up a lot of wind, but we're gonna give it a try. I have a feeling even if it picks up a little bit of wind, and if it's like a little bit distorted for being so enclosed, I might be able to, use the equalizer in the program to get, clear audio. So we're gonna have to play around with it. I might even have to move it around on my next ride. But let's go ahead and go for a ride. So again, guys, this is going to be the first ride of the year, and I'm going to be testing this new microphone that I have. It was only $15 on Amazon. I'm actually going to link the microphone in the description in case you want to pick one of these up. I'll also link the case as well, because you do have to have a case that has an open side so you can plug the GoPro in. I am using the chest mount. I don't know if you guys can see that at all in the mirror, but it is mounted on my chest here with these like straps I got in a kit. But let's fire this thing up, go for a ride, and let's see if I have any audio and if it's good audio. So let's get this thing fired up. And this is going the speed limit, so just as a disclaimer, my speedometer isn't accurate, so I did get a new sprocket, so no laws are getting broken here. And one thing I want to do is make sure that my wind flap is closed here on my helmet, so I'm going to do that for a second. If I remember how to do it. There we go. And that might be the ticket right there. That might be what I needed. I felt a lot of wind coming in, so this might be a better sound isolation. Jesus Christ, I should have just gone instead of fooling around with this helmet.
gravel back there, which I kind of dodged. You kind of see me go off of my turn a little bit there. I saw a patch of gravel. Wasn't trying to hit it. It's the last thing I want to do right now is slide on gravel. So that's one thing in the spring you got to be cautious about, is gravel and salt on the roads. You know, the only really perfect road conditions are in the summer, because, you know, in the fall you got to deal with those wet leaves. That can be dangerous. And I've been leaving my blinker on like a noob, but give me a little bit of leeway here. This is the first ride here, and I've been used to riding the car, which you don't have to do that. We're going to jump on and get some speed on the highway here. I might fast forward through some of this stuff, but I wanted you guys to hear the audio, so. But we're going to definitely see what the audio is like on the highway as well, because there's going to be a lot more wind, and the bike's going to, you know, when we catch up acceleration, the bike's going to be loud. So I do want to see how it isolates from that. I mean, I noticed that this microphone isn't too bad. Go ahead, come on. Fucking waiting all day. Oh yeah. Oh no, there's a cop. Alright, well, we can't do that, I guess, right now. What could this be? Well, the way it was parked, it looks like an accident, kinda. I don't know. Maybe somebody broke down, got somebody's hood up. Maybe he's just, because, you know, they're in a kind of a lane there, there's no shoulder, maybe he's just kind of protecting them. But we're about to get on the highway here. In town here, it sucks for riding, especially in the summer when you're at all these fucking red lights. If you're riding a motorcycle in the summer and when you're stopped, you know how hot that shit is. Just the fucking heat coming off the engine. I got the liner in on this jacket just because I don't think it's going to be that warm on my next ride, and it's kind of a pain in the ass taking in and out. So, well, let me merge on here real quick first. But anyway, the jacket, I was kind of worried that it was going to be, you know, cold on my next one and I'd have to put it back in. This liner isn't too hot right now. It actually feels pretty good. If the sun was out and it was beating down on me, I might, you know, be a little bit more toasty and uncomfortable. So I would say the wind is about average today, maybe slightly above average. I'm not getting pushed around that bad on this motorcycle, but you know, I'm just saying that because on a super windy day, who knows, this mic might operate completely different. Wow, my hip feels amazing. So guys, I learned this new hip stretch, and I get really tight hips. And sometimes when I'm riding this thing, I get like this really bad hip tightness, and it's like a cramp. Some of you guys have probably had it before when you're, especially like when you're tucked. But I'll show you, I'm going to make a video on this hip stretch I found out, because this channel is going to be also doing stuff with self-improvement. So I'm eventually going to get that stretch up here. But my hip has not felt like it was going to cramp this whole ride. And when I just sat up right there, I could tell it wasn't tight at all. I mean, you can tell when you sit up and your hips tight, like just how slow you stand up. None of that. Look at these guys. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking, you see those characters? Those guys are clowns. I don't want to be associated with them at all. That's why I got the hell out of there. Clowns. Did you see that guy go off the curb with that big bagger? Like, oh my goodness. Who does that? Who goes like off-roading with a bagger? This is something you got to be careful at in Ohio, is that people from Ohio don't know how to use these fucking roundabouts. It's like they're a foreign object. When I lived in Minnesota, that made traffic go way faster. Around here, it makes the traffic go slower, like it has the opposite effect. I remember last year I was down here, they had to have a cop telling people what to do around that roundabout. It was just embarrassing. I mean, I gotta say, when I lived in Minnesota, the drivers were maybe a little bit better. But Ohio's not the worst for drivers. But, that first snowfall of the year, that's when, people's colors really show. So, we got a nice calm lake today. Shit ton of people out. Don't see really anyone wearing a mask. I'm really digging that. Well, now that I say that group, but I would say that 80 to 90% of the people aren't wearing masks, so they either got the vaccine or they just don't give a shit. Oh, look at all these Jeeps. Those are nice. Nice Jeeps. you guys got that in the shot. Those were some nice Jeeps. I do wave back to these other riders, but I'm not too sure if you guys can see that in the camera. You know, one thing I forgot was to switch this camera on to wide angle lens. So this footage might suck. But I am going to turn this video off because I don't need people seeing exactly what house my bike's in and stuff. So until next time.